Imagine a modern-day symposium where three of history's greatest philosophers, Socrates, Plato, and Aristotle, gather to debate the intricacies of contemporary American politics. Picture the dusty streets of ancient Athens transposed to bustling Washington, D.C., where these titans of thought would dissect policies, leaders, and societal structures with the same fervor that once questioned the nature of justice and the ideal state. How would they perceive our democratic processes, our leaders, and the very essence of what it means to be a citizen in the United States today? Where we delve deep into the philosophical realms to bring timeless wisdom into our modern lives. Today, we embark on a thought experiment, one that bridges the gap between ancient philosophy and current American politics. By channeling the minds of Socrates, Plato, and Aristotle, we aim to unravel what these philosophical giants might say about the state of the United States today. Buckle up as we journey through the corridors of time and thought, piecing together insights that are as relevant now as they were millennia ago. Socrates, the father of Western philosophy, was known for his relentless questioning, a method aimed at exposing contradictions and fostering critical thinking. If Socrates were alive today, he would likely lament the decline of genuine dialogue in American politics. Instead of debates that foster understanding, we often see partisan bickering that entrenches division. Socrates would challenge both politicians and citizens to engage in more meaningful dialogues. He would ask probing questions. What is justice? What is the role of government? Are our leaders virtuous? His aim would be to illuminate truths that lie beneath the surface, urging everyone to look beyond rhetoric and examine the moral and ethical underpinnings of their positions. In ancient Athens, Socrates was concerned with the concept of virtue, arete, and its role in leadership. He would likely criticize contemporary American politics for its focus on charisma and populism over moral integrity. Socrates would argue that true leaders must possess wisdom and virtue, guiding the populace not towards their desires but towards their true good. Socrates famously declared that the unexamined life is not worth living. Applied to American society, he would urge citizens to critically examine their own beliefs and the functioning of their democracy. Are we, as a society, prioritizing the right values? Are we sufficiently informed and engaged in our political processes? Socrates would push for a culture of self-examination and active participation in the civic sphere. Plato, a student of Socrates, introduced the Allegory of the cave, where prisoners mistake shadows on a wall for reality. In today's context, Plato might compare this to the influence of media and misinformation. He would warn that many Americans are like the prisoners in the cave, mistaking biased news and sensationalism for truth. Plato would advocate for a more enlightened populace, one that seeks out education and strives to understand the deeper truths behind political narratives. He would stress the importance of critical thinking and the pursuit of knowledge as essential for a healthy democracy. In The Republic, Plato outlined his vision of an ideal state ruled by philosopher kings, wise and just leaders who govern for the benefit of all. While American democracy is founded on the principle of elected representatives, Plato might critique it for often favoring wealth and influence over wisdom and virtue. He would question whether our political system truly selects the most capable leaders, or if it merely rewards those skilled in persuasion and fundraising. Plato would likely call for reforms aimed at fostering a more meritocratic and virtuous leadership. Plato emphasized the role of education in cultivating wise and virtuous leaders. In his ideal state, the guardians undergo rigorous training in philosophy and ethics. Applying this to contemporary America, Plato would advocate for a stronger emphasis on civic education. He would argue that a well-informed and ethically grounded citizenry is crucial for the health of the democracy. Aristotle, a student of Plato, viewed the polis, city-state, as a community that exists for the sake of living well. He believed that politics is fundamentally about achieving the good life for its citizens. Aristotle would likely assess American politics through the lens of how well it promotes the common good. He would critique policies and practices that favor a small elite at the expense of the broader population. For Aristotle, true politics must aim at the flourishing of all citizens, emphasizing the role of government in creating conditions for virtuous and fulfilling lives. Aristotle's Nicomachean Ethics highlights the concept of Eudaimonia, often translated as flourishing or well-being. He believed that ethical behavior is essential for both individuals and the state. In the context of American politics, Aristotle would stress the importance of ethical leadership and the cultivation of virtue among citizens. He would likely critique the pervasive influence of money in politics, arguing that it undermines ethical behavior and distracts from the pursuit of the common good. Aristotle would advocate for reforms that promote transparency, accountability, and integrity in public life. Aristotle introduced the concept of phronesis, or practical wisdom, the ability to make good decisions in specific circumstances. He would emphasize the need for practical wisdom in political leadership, arguing that leaders must not only know what is right, but also how to implement it effectively. In the American context, Aristotle would advocate for leaders who possess both theoretical knowledge and practical experience. He would argue that effective governance requires a balance of intellectual insight and pragmatic action. Inspired by Socrates, we can foster a culture of questioning and dialogue in our communities, encourage town halls, public forums, and debates where citizens and leaders engage in meaningful discussions about important issues. Promote critical thinking and respectful discourse as cornerstones of a healthy democracy. Plato's emphasis on education can be applied by advocating for comprehensive civic education in schools. Teach students about the philosophical foundations of democracy, ethics, and critical thinking. Equip future generations with the tools they need to navigate complex political landscapes. Aristotle's focus on virtue and practical wisdom can inform efforts to promote ethical leadership. Support initiatives that prioritize integrity and accountability in politics. Encourage leaders to pursue policies that promote the common good and the well-being of all citizens. Now we want to hear from you. What do you think Socrates, Plato, and Aristotle would say about current American politics? Do you agree with their critiques and suggestions? Leave your thoughts in the comments below and join the conversation. As we reflect on the insights of Socrates, Plato, and Aristotle, it becomes clear that their wisdom remains profoundly relevant. Their emphasis on virtue, dialogue, education, and practical wisdom provides timeless guidance for navigating the complexities of modern politics. By engaging with their ideas, we can strive to create a more enlightened and just society. Thank you for joining us on this philosophical journey. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to provoking content. Until next time, keep questioning, keep thinking, and keep striving for a better world. Watch our latest video on the philosophy of democracy. Subscribe to more inspiring content. Follow us on social media for daily doses of wisdom.